Hello chaps, welcome to John Robson Guitar Tuition. I do hope you're well. Now then, if you enjoyed the last video about adding a little bit of jazzy exoticness to your blues guitar soloing, then stick around because I've got a little bit more of the same today. Right then, so what was going on in that little solo? Well, there were the usual blues licks using the major and the minor pentatonics, which I'm sure we're all reasonably well acquainted with. There were the modified pentatonic scales that we looked at in the last video, and if you haven't seen that, check out the description box below. There is a link to that video. But in addition to all of that, I was using another element that we're going to be examining today. Now, I think it's best to start examining what we're going to be introducing today in terms of something that you're probably already pretty familiar with. For instance, I bet you've all used licks based upon this little group of notes. And in case you didn't know, if you are playing licks based on those 6 notes, you're actually playing most of the Dorian mode. But what we're going to do here is take that little shape and modify it ever so slightly by taking this F sharp note and moving it down 1 semitone or 1 fret to the note of F, which gives us this little group of notes. Next, what we're going to do is take that little shape that we've now got on the 1st and 2nd strings and repeat it with exactly the same fingering on the 3rd and 4th strings. And you now have something known as the diminished scale, which sounds like this. And the really cool thing about this diminished scale fingering is, frankly, it's the only one you're ever going to need. And that's because the relationships between the notes that are in the scale are such that if you move this pattern up or down the neck in 3 fret jumps, you get exactly the same notes each time, albeit obviously starting from a different note in the scale, but it's the same notes. Check it out for yourself. Try playing the pattern at the 9th fret, the 6th fret and the 3rd fret, and you will find that you get the same notes each time. So you don't need to learn loads of scale patterns for the diminished scale. Okay, so that's what the diminished scale is, but where do you use it? Well, in the context of a 12-bar blues, you would have 3 chords. You would have your 1 chord, which in this case is going to be E7. Your 4 chord, which will be the A7, and the 5 chord B7. Okay, and it's at that moment when the 1 chord is ascending up to the 4 chord, a bit like this, for instance. There, as it's doing that kind of climb up from the E to the A when the chord sequence is in that process of changing chords, that's when you sneak in your little diminished scale licks. Maybe something like this. Or this. here's another. And one more for good luck. And there you have it. That is, I think you'll agree, a relatively pain-free way of adding just a little touch more exoticism, if that's such a word, to your blues guitar playing. And if this has whetted your appetite and you'd like some more information on this or any other guitar related topic, and you live on Teesside in the northeast of England, then give me a shout for some tailored one-to-one guitar tuition with your first lesson free, by the way, and you'll find the details on how to get in touch at the end of this video. And if you've enjoyed this video, then please hit the subscribe button, and that way you'll get to see more of them. And before I go, I'll just take this opportunity to plug my new album called The Whiskey Made Me Do It, which is kind of melodic blues, shreddy rock, and there's a couple of places where I do get the diminished scale out of its wrapper as well on the album. So see if you can spot those. Check it out. Even though I say so myself, it is really rather good. I'll leave you now with that guitar solo that we heard at the beginning of the lesson once again, but this time I've indicated where the diminished licks are cropping up within it. Right, that's it for now, folks. See you all next time. Bye for now.